Hey guys, so I'm out here today in the veggie patch and I am clearing out the tomatoes. So it was last weekend that I came through. I did a really big cleanup of the tomatoes, did a pretty good harvest, staked them all up again, cleaned off a whole heap of the greenery. And the reason I did that was because there was some tomatoes on there that I knew just needed about another week to ripen up. And I really didn't want to just pick them green or lose them. So I did a lot of work last weekend that, maybe it feels like a bit for nothing, but I'm happy. I got a really big harvest yesterday. I've got a harvest basket and I filled it up and I'm gonna get them all in the freezer for when I need them next. And now I'm just going to go through and chop all of these out. So let me show you what they look like at the moment and then we'll just get after it. Some of these are still looking really good. Like this one here has some flowers setting fruit. And over here, I've got some nice green cherries. But to be honest, the weather's cooling down. These may or may not ripen. I mean, I might leave one or two of these plants that I think might have some luck. But a lot of them, I look down here and I see lots of brilliant red and I think, oh, tomatoes. And then you come up and you see things like this. So I had a lot of animal damage this year. I think that there's rats in here, probably some possums. There was a little bit of sun scorch, and some of that's because I was crook and so didn't get here in time. Like this one, it's just overripe, it's gone mushy. And like that, I don't want to eat that. So what my plan is to come along through here and I'm just going to come in to the bottom of a stalk, just with my secateurs nice and low, nice and low. Come on, drip system in the way, let's get there. I'm just going to chop that off. There we go. I'm going to leave this in the ground. Couple of reasons. Firstly, you can. I'm practicing kind of a hybrid no dig at the moment. I'm not set on any specific way of managing my garden, but one of the things with no dig is that you don't dig, so I can leave that there, and over winter that will just rot down and it'll be fine. Then when I come in my autumn crops, I'll plant in this planting hole. You see there's the drip emitter, so I space my tomatoes every second drip emitter. So if I want to plant now, I can just plant in the middle one and then I won't run into these roots. This plant here, now that I've chopped it off, obviously I'll pull the stake out and then I can pop this in the compost bin if I want. I can put it in my greenway bin. But let me show you where I'm actually going to put it. So, started getting myself organized for my berry beds. I've had a couple of iterations of, kind of how I think I want them laid out. And I think this is approximately it. So I've started putting all of my garden trash in the beds. Again, kind of a hybrid method of hugelkultur, which is where you pile your garden beds full of stuff, logs and branches usually in the bottom, and then you put soil on top and plant into that. All of that then decomposes and just adds nutrients. So, it won't add a lot of nutrients, but it's a good way to get rid of my garden trash. And I've got up there my 4 big bags of the leaves that I pulled out of the shade garden, and so I'm going to put all of that in here as well. What I will do is come along just with some Roundup spray down in here, because I do have grass growing, and so obviously I don't want grass to grow through my beds. So I'll probably do that today. Is what it is. So they're my kind of garden beds at the moment. And bada bing, what I'm going to do here, Charlie is on his leash. He doesn't love being on the leash, but it's the only way I'm letting him out. Let me clear up the tomato beds and then we will plant something new. All right, here it is. Pulled out, I chopped off all of the tomatoes, pulled out all of the stakes. I've given it a little bit of a rake and there we are. It's clean, it's tidy, it's fresh. What I will probably do when I plant the next thing in here, I've got a whole heap more brassicas, so cauliflowers, broccolis. I bought some Brussels sprouts. not because I particularly love Brussels sprouts, but because I really want to grow them. I think that they just look really cool when they grow. Anyway, what I'm going to do when I plant them is I will loosen the soil. So I didn't do that when I planted this lot over here. They're doing totally fine, but I realized that I hadn't loosened the soil and I probably should have. So I'll show you that when I plant. Don't know if I'll get to it today. Might get to it later, maybe on the week, during the week, doesn't matter. The tomatoes are gone. That's what matters. The berry beds that I'm prepping are chock-a-block full of tomato trash. So some gardeners might say to me, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, it'll like change the makeup of your soil once you put soil in, and that stuff breaks down, and you'll have different nutrients in the soil that you don't need in the soil or anything like that. That doesn't really matter. That green waste has to go somewhere. So I could put it in my green waste bin, which I can't because my green waste bin is full, or I could put it in one of my 3 compost bins, which I can't because my 3 compost bins are full. So I have to put it somewhere. I don't want to put it in my red bin. It's not landfill. This will break down. Frankly, if I put this in my compost heap, it would turn into compost and I would use it in the berry beds anyway. So I'm just shortcutting, and it looks a bit bad right now because right now there's just like dead tomato plants hanging around in the berry beds, but that's okay because it'll probably be another couple of weeks before I can fill them with soil. In the meantime, they will just die down. It's nice and bright and sunny, so they'll wither away into nothing in no time. And frankly, by the time I start planting in there, you probably won't even notice that there's been the tomato plants. So it's working for me, that's all I can say. Anyway, another job done in my autumn cleanup. I'm happy that I've got it done. It means I can start on any other projects that I've got going on, and this area is just starting to tidy up really nicely. That's it. Bye guys.